The cybersecurity landscape never sleeps. Every minute, thousands of new threats emerge. Millions of attacks are launched and billions of dollars are at stake. But in this constant stream of cyber incidents and updates, what should you actually care about? Well, that's why we're here. This is the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I'm Dr. Gerald Auger, and these are the top cyber headlines. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Monday, January... No,
you are so dumb.
All right.
You are really dumb. For real.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, February 10th, 2025. It is the Monday after Super Bowl here in the United States, so do bear everybody a bit of grace this morning as we get off and running. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and this is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. And over the next hour, me, you, Marcus Kyler, the Philadelphia Eagles, Gary Sturgiadis down in New Orleans dealing with all the traffic, Port Zero in the upstate, ZMF, DJ Bisek behind the glass, not only IT, James McQuiggan on 35,000 leagues, Nerdpocalypse and Code Brew up in here, Terrence Billingsley, David Crawford. There is James McQuiggan popping his head out from the depths to give 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much, James McQuiggan. Guys, we are all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories, and I'm going to be taking each of these stories into the best of my ability, applying my 20 years of experience and my love for cybersecurity to distill out and rip out value for you that you can immediately apply to your career, to your job as a practitioner to help drive cyber risk reduction, to your business stakeholders. And if you're looking to break into the industry, know that this show is also for you, because the work starts the moment you decide you want to work in cybersecurity, and it never actually stops. You're going to be asked in any single job interview, how do you stay current? This right here is a banger of an answer, believe me, because how else are you going to be able to pivot, move, shifts, be proactive, and take initiative on your own if you're not staying up to date on the current trends of what's going on in our industry? And if you're a solo operator, hashtag Team Solo in chat, know that the Team SC community, the Simply Cyber community, is here for you as virtual coworkers. Holler at you. Now, I want you to know I've got no research, no prep for this show. This episode 810, we're riding YOLO. We're riding low on the hip on a train bound for glory, because that's how it is in real life and in practice. And this is how I start my day. I get up, start consuming this news, and figure out what we need to worry about today and keep on rolling. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the stream sponsors while I double fist this pot of coffee, which, by the way, again, shout out to Mrs. Auger for buying a coffee cup large enough to hold an entire French press in it, so I can just hardline this stuff directly into me. All right, let's hear from the stream sponsors. And when we get back, I'm going to tell you how this show can absolutely drop an absolute bomb on your CPU requirements every single year. 120 credits. I'm going to explain how in just a minute. Let's go to the sponsors. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit ThreatLocker.com. What's up, Simply Cyber? You know what keeps CISOs up at night? The unknown. Those exposed assets and leaked creds floating around the dark web that you don't even know about? Well, that's where Flare steps in. Think of Flare as your organization's amazing threat hunting capability, continuously scanning both clear and dark web for exposed enterprise assets, leaked secrets, and even compromised credentials being sold in private channels. Their cutting-edge platform, powered by transparent, generative AI, prioritizes real threats so your team can take immediate action. Stop playing catch-up with threat actors. Get ahead with Flare's threat exposure management capability. Don't take my word for it. Visit try.flare.io/simplycyber and try it for yourself. Oh, hello there. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including episode 810, just like this one, is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat. The chat's going to appear directly above my head, so you can drop a hashtag TeamSC if you'd like and grab a screenshot. Corey Grayley knows what's cracking. Good morning to you, Corey. Hashtag TeamSC. Joseph Gambalu. I think the S is silent. You'll have to let me know, Joseph. Either way, all you have to do is say what's up. It shows up on screen. Grab a screenshot. Evidence you're here. It's essentially like the sign-up sheet at the back of the room next to the coffee and donuts when you go to like a instructor-led event or something like that. Just say what's up. Sign the little button thing, and yeah, there you go. Isaac knows what's up. Isaac Rodart with the straight-up time and date. Love it, love it, love it. So if you are new here, guys, hashtag first timer if it's your first time. Now, Team SC, everybody here is Team SC, no doubt. But if you are here for the first time and you're trying to figure it out, maybe you're not ready to identify as Team SC. That's cool, no sweat. Just drop a hashtag first timer because we love, love, love welcoming our first timers. And we've got a special sound effect. We've got a special emote. Of course, we've got the mod team in here. I see Chris Whitlock in chat. I'm sure Kimberly can fix it. Justin Gold, DJ B-Sex behind the glass, so he's got eyes on everything. Guys, it is Monday, which means it is going to be Simply Cyber's Community Member of the Week, sponsored by ThreatLocker. We're going to be giving $100 to the Simply Cyber Member of the Week. This is just somebody in our community who's out there crushing it. Malware Trini saying what's up. Welcome to the squad. And also just reminder, everybody, Malware Trini's crushing career goals up in here, setting the good tone for everybody about what can happen and how you can win when you put in the work. All right, guys. Let me just take one more slug of this coffee. I'm in desperate need of it. You know that animated GIF? Yeah, I said GIF. You know that animated GIF where it's like Snow White guzzling coffee? That's on repeat in my head right now. So just so everybody knows, that's where I'm at. Where are you? Quick poll, actually, just a fun poll while everyone's in here. And I know this is more for US than anyone, but feeling it this morning from Super Bowl? Let me know. Here's the thing, guys. I'm in my mid-40s, despite what I want the reality to be. I'm in my mid-40s, which means even if I have a couple sodas, Jesus, the body doesn't rebound quite like it once did. All right, guys, do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the whoops blah, 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 interrupt the record skip here. DeWet Brits, first timer in chat. Please welcome DeWet Brits.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, welcome to the party, pal. DeWet GIFs. All right, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sound of the hot news wash over us in an awesome way. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, February 10th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Shock and lawsuit over security failures in Doge Takeover. Following up on a story we were covering last week, this is a triple story today. Experts in cybersecurity and government process are likening the current activities of the Doge group, that is the Department of Government Efficiency, as an ongoing data breach, stating that the act of, quote, exposing the personal data of millions of federal employees violates federal laws against sharing classified or sensitive information with uncleared individuals and creates new cybersecurity vulnerabilities for malicious hackers to exploit, end quote. Chief amongst these concerns, they say, are efforts by Elon Musk's team to access the Department of the Treasury's payment system housed in the Bureau of Fiscal Service, which controls much of the spending by the federal government, including congressionally mandated programs like Social Security. The White House stated last Monday that Doge employees' access to these systems were restricted to read only.
Yeah, okay.
In addition...
Oh my God. Hold on.
According to Brian Krebs, quoting Wired magazine, a 19-year-old person working for the Doge group was, quote, given access to sensitive U.S. government systems, even though his past association with cybercrime communities should have precluded him from gaining the necessary security clearances to do so, end quote. This individual is reported to be, quote, a former denizen of The Com, an archipelago of Discord and Telegram chat channels that function as a kind of distributed cybercriminal social network for facilitating instant collaboration, end quote. And thirdly, students
Oh my God.
at the University of California on Friday sued the Federal Education Department to stop the Doge team from, quote, accessing federal student financial aid databases which house sensitive information belonging to more than 42 million Americans, end quote. The plaintiffs, who are members of the University of California Student Association, which serves all of the system's campuses statewide, argue that, quote, the access granted to Doge by Acting Secretary of Education Denise Carter violates the Federal Privacy Act and the Internal Revenue Code, end quote. This lawsuit is different from the one we reported on last week from union groups filed against Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Monday of last week.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I need to take a seat after that. Are you? It's like, wow. All right. So let's unpack this again for you first timers, like the wet Brits over on LinkedIn and any other first timers who are a little shy and didn't say what's up. This isn't a political show, so I'm not going to go political rampaging through here. But, obviously this is relevant. So lot to unpack here. First of all, it seems to me the crux of the entire argument is that there is unauthorized access going on. The fact that they are suggesting that this is a ongoing data breach is, to me, by definition, incorrect. GRC Mafia people, right? I'm actually wearing the GRC Mafia shirt today, so representing, okay? And we're not only GRC up in here, but we are GRC is pretty cool up in here. So GRC people vibe with me on this one. When we audit a system, you get brought in as an independent auditor. You get dropped into a federal system and you audit them. Hey, let me see your records. Oh, let me see the last 10 people you terminated. Show me the paperwork. Okay? Like I'm going to, whatever. Show me the configurations of your AD. You don't call that a data breach. Like, you are authorized to do that. Okay? Now, I have to assume that these individuals who are representing Doge with read-only access, which is totally appropriate. If you're going to give access, read-only is correct for audit purposes. That way you can't do anything wrong. Now, I will tell you, again, if they are accessing individual records, okay, so individual people records, like going into the database and looking at, people's individual information, that is likely a problem. Remember, when you get access to audit a system or whatever, you're typically auditing how the system works, processes, workflows, restrictions, constraints, etc. Backup processes, whatever. You really don't have a need to dump, like, say the balance of people. Say you're going to audit a bank, you wouldn't dump the balances and first and last name of bank account holders. There isn't a legitimate explanation for that. Now, if you were going to be doing like a Sarbanes-Oxley audit or something, and you were auditing that there are financial controls in place to avoid financial fraud, which is a different type of audit outside the scope of cybersecurity, well, then you might need to access a few or even a few accounts, or maybe even dummy accounts that are set up for testing the workflows. But you don't need to be getting into the individual data points. Okay. So again, if they are overreaching here we go. This is a quick more, because I remember when I was younger in my career, when I still didn't have gray, right? Authorization. Okay. So when you are permissioned to access a system, okay, let's use Roswell, UK and malware trini as examples here. Okay. So malware trini is going to go in and audit a system, and Roswell UK is also, going to use that system for operational purposes, right? They're both authorized to access the system, correct? Right? Like but here's the thing. It's not a Boolean access, meaning it's all or nothing. You don't get all or nothing. It's not like accessing, I don't know, a bar, right? Are you 21 or are you not 21? You are 21, you can order whatever you want. You're under 21, you get Shirley Temples and that's it, okay? It's not that way with systems. With systems, you get authorization to access the system, and then on top of that, you get authorization to access specific functions, features, data, whatever of the systems, okay? And that is supposed to be deliberate for control. Go look at AC6, AC7, least use, least privilege. You don't want, if there's no legitimate business reason for the access to these additional pieces of information, then you don't need it. And honestly, this is part of the problem that we have in our industry, is that it's very easy to just give you access to everything than it is to, individually segment out the permissions for what you need. That's called role-based access. And it's hard if you don't set it up correctly at the beginning. And even if you do set it up at the beginning, you get all these special snowflakes who are like, well, I'm actually like an engineer operator, but I do need permission because I've been made a manager, so I get all this other stuff, right? It's a problem. Now, abusing your access is a problem. Another thing that they mention in the story is this 19-year-old, okay? And the 19-year-old having access to these systems without proper clearance. Now, if the data in this system has been flagged as classified, it doesn't matter that it's U.S., national security stuff or classified top secret or whatever. This can be applied to your business as well, right? Think of HR records, right? You work in InfoSec. You really, like InfoSec people, the reason that it's like, there isn't a lot of internships in InfoSec is because we get access to everything. And there's a certain level of trust and expectation that with all that access, great power comes great responsibility, right? We're Spider-Man over here in cybersecurity. So with that, it's the same thing here. So if someone needs to access, say, like HR records, okay? Final thing I'll say is, like, when you work in a business, you're not going to go work and touch HR records unless you are cleared to do that. And sometimes you need to go through extra training and stuff like that. Same thing with security clearances. You're not allowed to access sensitive secret information unless it is, in fact, you've been cleared for that. Now, whether or not that happened with this individual, I don't know. They do have expeditious routes to get clearance, and maybe that happened. I don't know. But let's continue on before, because there's enough lessons learned in this story already.
CISA adds Microsoft Outlook and Sophos XG Firewall all to its known exploitation.
Yeah, and just to re-echo DJ BSEC, guys, I know it's a hot button topic, but here in this community, we don't talk politics, or we try not to talk politics. We try to, if we start talking politics, we move away from it. It's just too heated a topic and too divisive. And that's not what we're doing here. We're trying to level up as cybersecurity professionals.
Vulnerabilities catalog. 5 new vulnerabilities have been added to the catalog this last week, being a 7-zip mark of the web bypass vulnerability, a Dante discovery process control vulnerability, a CyberRoam OS SQL injection vulnerability, the aforementioned Sophos XG firewall buffer overflow vulnerability, and the Microsoft Outlook improper input validation vulnerability that we reported on Friday. This Microsoft Outlook vulnerability and the buffer overflow issue from Sophos XG firewall each have a CVSS score of 9.8. In addition, according to Trend micro security researcher Peter Gurnis, the 7-zip vulnerability has already been actively exploited by Russian cybercrime groups through, quote, spear phishing campaigns using homoglyph attacks to spoof document extensions and trick users and the Windows operating system into executing malicious files, end quote. Federal agencies must fix these vulnerabilities by February 27th, and a list of the CVE numbers assigned to each is available in the show notes to this episode.
All right, so check it out. This is a 7-zip flaw that can be exploited. I just actually had to install 7-zip this weekend. The Microsoft archive extractor is usually pretty good, but I had a specially challenging archive to open up in 7-zip. So here's the deal. If you're running 7-zip on your box right now, like the machine I'm on right now has 7-zip, that doesn't mean you get immediately exploded. It's not a ticking time bomb that's just going to like detonate in your face. Really quickly ending the poll. Looks like out of 184 votes, half of us are feeling it and half of us are not feeling it. So to those who are not feeling it, can I have your coffee, please? All right, so check it out. The way that this gets exploited, remember, and my cadet students asked me this the other day. Just to be clear, when you have malware on your box, it's just a static file. It's not like, ugh. It's when it gets run and executed or interpreted by an interpreter is when it gets pushed in and executed on the stack and then starts doing things like invoking functions and writing to disk and stuff like that. Just having code on your box, you're not infected yet. Okay. Now, I do want to preface that by saying, do not ever handle malware unless you have at least a basic understanding of how to protect yourself. All right. It's like letting a child go buck wild in a glass blowing factory. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, like, wait, take a small training, look through the glass, do the walking tour and look through the glass and at least get an idea of like what not to touch or what equipment to wear before you go buck wild up in the glass blowing factory, aka the malware, and self-infect or do something else worse. So this particular one, first of all, you have to be running an exploited version of 7-zip or a vulnerable version of 7-zip. 2, you have to receive a specially crafted email from an attacker, and then you have to open the attachment of that email, and then the attachment has to explode correctly and exploit the 7-zip. So a lot of things have to happen here. It does look like one interesting element of this. It seems like it's Russia sending it to Ukraine. So doesn't mean that we in the US or other, places abroad could not fall victim to this. Malware doesn't give a crap typically unless it's got like logic programmed in it. Logic, like look at the keyboard language and don't detonate if it's not in Cyrillic or something like NotPetya did. Malware doesn't care. Like if it gets on your box, it'll detonate. So you have to kind of help the threat actor detonate this one. The final thing I'll say is this is a bit of a clever attack as well. It seems like the Russian actors in this instance have compromised Ukrainian email accounts, possibly even government Ukrainian accounts, and that's where the email is coming from. So essentially the email is coming from inside the house, which what does that mean for us? The thing is, 2 things. One, if you have email security gateway rules set in place to blanket allow certain things to come through or blanket deny certain things, if they're coming from a trusted email address, they're not going to get the same level of scrutiny as if they're coming from some unknown Russian-based ISP, right? So right there, your technologies are getting potentially bypassed or nerfed a bit. And then on top of that, when Wade Wells gets an email from James McQuiggan, Wade Wells is like, oh, James is sending me something, double click, right? I send Wade Wells an email. He's like, delete, right? You see what I'm saying? So there's a sense of trust. There's a sense of implicit authority and lowering of the defenses, if you will, by a victim who receives an email from an account that appears to be friendly. Therefore, detonating, more likely to click through any type of alerts or pop-ups or anything saying, whoa, this could be malware, okay? So clever technique. This is 7-zip being exploited, but the technique of compromising a email address and then sending malware through it to known sources is more of a agnostic attack vector. In fact, I almost want to point out, just to like take everybody back into the Wayback Machine, if you want to go way back, y'all. So I would say you have to be like north of 30 years old. So casually, Joseph, you can ping your mom and ask her about this one. The Melissa virus. Whoa, Jerry. Oh, you taking me back. The Melissa virus, which basically exploited a Visual Basic VB script for Microsoft Office documents, leveraged Outlook and exploited it, where basically the virus would get on your box if you opened it, and then it would email everybody in your contact list out, and then, reinfect everybody in their contact list. So everybody in your contact list typically probably knows who you are and has emailed with you before. So that Melissa virus is kind of a case study on how quickly email can spread when it's coming from trusted sources. Again, email, Melissa virus versus what the Russians are doing here to Ukraine are two wildly different actions on objectives, but the kind of the premise of the attack vector is the same.
Thanks to today's episode sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks, like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting. And they help you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. You can get started at vanta.com/headlines. That is VANTA.com/headlines.
All right. Let's go. Oh, hey, really quick. Like I said, it is Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, so we're going to love that. Just give us 1 second. Let's do our little ad roll here for Antisyphon training, and then I'm going to melt your face with all sorts of good stuff. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education, regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing, as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. All right, let's do this. That feels good. Let the simple minds wash over you in an awesome wave. Guys, everybody be cool. Zach Hill's here. IT Career Questions is here. Everybody be cool. Be cool. Just act normal. All right. Hey, guys, I want to say shout out and thanks to all of you for being here. Shout out to Brian Fitz. Good morning, all. Just became A+ certified. Now crushing that Sec Plus. Let's go, Brian. Also, Brian, want to tell you, Slay Security Plus is out there live streaming weekly, letting you know. Slay Security Plus is helping people crush their Sec Plus, so get on that. Guys, shout out to the stream sponsors. Delete Me, ThreatLocker, Antisyphon, Flare, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Out here hooking it up and helping us crush it, guys. Thank you to all of you. I see you in chat helping each other. A shout out to everybody at Wild West Hackin' Fest, Mile High, Denver, who are helping each other. I saw Nick Barker, so many people doing their photo dumps out there. Just amazing stuff. And I want you to know, I make it a point to say it every single episode. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Even the people getting up. Holy crap. Kathy Chambers? Woo! Good morning, Kathy Chambers. Guys, we got the whole crew up in here. If we get Daniel Lowry, we might have the trifecta of the Antisyphon brain trust up in here. All right, guys, I got to tell you really quickly, shout out to Barricade Cyber Solutions, guys. Where is it? I got this read here for you. Where is it? Where are you, Barricade? Barricade Cyber Solutions, guys. If you're a squad member, giddy up on the squad emotes because there is a Barricade Cyber link, just like there's an Antisyphon one that we need to update. That's actually an action we can take. Guys, Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions, you know what they do? They know how to help businesses get back up and running. They know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. They basically know how to take you by the shoulder, put you behind them and say, we got this. And they got basically proven results. They can interact with threat actors and get you back up and running. Go to barricadecyber.com. Essentially, get yourself ahead of a ransomware incident or a business email compromise incident. They were at Wild West Hack and Fest. If you stop by their booth, you know what they're up to and how they're crushing it. You know, every single day of the week has a special segment, and I'm very pleased to tell you that Mondays is the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, sponsored by ThreatLocker. What does that sponsorship mean? It means that ThreatLocker takes a deny by default approach to cybersecurity, and we here at Simply Cyber take a village approach to hooking this community up. Our community is epic, and it's way more than just one person screaming into this mic. And I would like to give shout out and praise to this week's community member. You might recognize her. This is Brittany White, aka B-Dubs. Now, B-Dubs, you may recognize, was a Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week maybe a month or two ago for her contributions and inspiring others. And normally, I do try to recognize people and spread the love, but Brittany right here, aka B-Dubs, took the helm effectively and led the Team SC efforts at Wild West Hack and Fest Mile High. She had the flag. She was coordinating. She was helping people out, providing insights, welcoming people, running the first timers. She even reached out to me and coordinated, without getting into it. I actually, I wasn't going to really say anything, but I Venmo'd her some money and asked her to buy drinks for people and stuff like that. So she took that on as well and was getting great stories, recognizing people who were out there doing things, going above and beyond, really, really embodying those Simply Cyber community core values. And I want to say thank you, Brittany, and definitely appreciate it. So obviously, Brittany, get with me. It's a sponsored segment, so she's going to get a $100 gift card to Amazon. Now, for the rest of us, let's get our la-la-la-las on and straight crush it. Let's go. Everybody, Alpha Sierra, lead us off. All right, hold on. Let's go. Whoops, I mistyped here. All right, guys, let's go. Finish strong. We got this. Thank you all for what you do.
DeepSeek's app transmits sensitive user and device data without encryption. A new report from mobile security company Now Secure reveals that DeepSeek's mobile app for the Apple iOS operating system contains some serious security issues, including the fact that it sends sensitive data over the internet without encryption, as well as collecting extensive user and device data. The report said that when data is encrypted, the app uses an insecure symmetric encryption algorithm, a hard-coded encryption key, and reuses initialization vectors. Furthermore, the report says, quote, the data is sent to servers that are managed by a cloud compute and storage platform named Volcano Engine, which is owned by ByteDance, the Chinese company that also operates TikTok, end quote.
All right, so DeepSeek continues to be a hot mess express. Again, let's just push to the side that it's Chinese-based or whatever. It is one of these powerful AI tools that's taken the society by storm, very similar to the way that OpenAI ripped everything up in 2022, and people were like, "Ah!" Do you remember? Like OpenAI went from like, "Hey, OpenAI is public" to 100 million users. DeepSeek's kind of suffering those same pains. You know how? Let me tell you this: this is a true lesson learned. Whether it's DeepSeek, okay, or it's some piece of software that is being made at your company, I will tell you this. QA, QC of a software in-house, sure, you can do all the best things you want. When it goes public, you should absolutely be prepared for a massive understanding of where your weaknesses are. It's basically like load testing, stress testing, getting more users in there who have different perspectives on how it can be used or how it can be weaponized. I'll tell you, you will never be able to find all the bugs in your software, of course, right? So when you are doing a software development or you work in big tech or something like that, you really, really should be thinking about it this way. Development and then deployment and production and stuff like that. And software testers and cyber people who are doing QA, QC and stuff on potential risk of exploitation of the software, you should really be thinking like, hey, like our work doesn't stop when we release the code to production. You don't get to take like a victory lap because, our QA, QC work is done. No. It's literally when it gets into the hands of millions of users is where you really see the stress cracks and the fractures and the essentially the fringe cases, right? Because at the end of the day, the Pareto principle, right? 80% of the problems you're going to find with QA, QC. It's the 20% fringe cases, the 20% unexpected situations that you're going to be difficult to enumerate and test for. That's where you're going to find the big problems. So just be mindful of that. DeepSeek shouldn't come as a surprise. Like this is continued to be an issue. Now, I mean, they do have the ability to encrypt data. Like that's something they could have implemented. The fact that they're not doing it, whatever. Like it could just be bad practice or not. So.
UK releases hurricane-grade scale for cyber attacks. This is a product of a group named the Cyber Monitoring Center, CMC, which is made up of cyber insurance industry figures and some cybersecurity thought leaders. This rating system parallels that of the Saffir-Simpson scale, which identifies the severity of hurricanes. It is intended to, quote, help cyber insurance companies and their reinsurers independently define what constitutes a systemic event, end quote, which is one that, quote, emanates from a single source, such as an attack on a vendor, but has a significant impact on myriad other organizations, end quote. Examples of this include NotPetya and the CrowdStrike event. As an independent, non-profit organization, the CMC will categorize cyber events on a 1 through 5 scale, with 5 being the most severe based on data around the financial impact of the event and the number of UK organizations affected.
All right. UK industry leaders unleash hurricane-grade scale. I like it. I don't know if it's necessarily needed, but we've been honestly inside of cybersecurity, we've been trying to apply other best practices from other industries for a while. Most notably, when there's an airplane crash, there is the I think it's NTSB, like the people who go recover the black box and then try to figure out what went wrong and then introduce lessons learned to prevent that type of accident from happening again. We've tried that in cyber a little bit, and it's usually like black swan events only. This hurricane type grading thing, we'll see how it goes. I do say that applying something like this will make it more effective at communicating at scale to public entities, right? Because if you say like, oh my gosh, like, hey, you guys all should be really careful. This has an EPSS of a 62%. Like, people are like tone deaf to that. Or it has a CVSS score of 9.8. People are tone deaf to it. But if you're like, hey, listen, this thing has like, this is like a Cat 4 cyber attack. Like people can wrap their head around that. When you say, there's a Cat 4 growing into a Cat 5 off the coast of Florida, it's mainstream news. People are breaking into regular programming. It's trending on social media. So I kind of like this idea. Again, This is one country, so, or I guess United Kingdom is a collection of countries. I don't know how the Brits do it, but I will say it's going to use a cyber event scale of 1 to 5. And they're going. Here's the deal. I mean, not unlike a hurricane that can change its cat value, like, oh, it's a cat 2, it's picking up energy, it's a cat 3. Cyber attacks can change in impact, right? If the level of exploitation skill gets lower, if it's a point and click thing, etc., it can change. It looks like they're going to use this technical committee to categorize it. And it looks like they're going to use financial damage. How many organizations are impacted and when the information required for an assessment is available. All right, so I don't know. I like it. The problem is going to be, honestly, the problem is going to be like the so what, okay? So here's what I mean. And by the way, GRC Mafia, this is like a total GRC Mafia move. This enables us, GRC leaders, to better and easily communicate impact, essentially, to business stakeholders. So here's the deal. This is a cool idea. Let's roll with it, right? Get the shirts made. We can come up with really cool cyber attack logos and, exploit, whatever, like, oh, not Petya attack. Like, let's get a cool logo made. It's a Cat 5. All right. Here's the problem with this. Okay. If I go in and tell a business leader that this, whatever, move it software exploitation is a Cat 4, like the business leader can wrap their head around and say, like, oh yeah, Cat 4 hurricane is bad. But like, how is this like a Cat 4? Like, I think there will be a little bit of a disconnect in helping map what a hurricane damages to a business leader's understanding of what the damage can be, because it's all digital, right? I do hope it works out. This is one of those ones where essentially I feel like they're taking a swing at a innovative idea, and we'll see if it hits. Honestly, I don't know if it would. What's that? 1 second. Yeah, so we'll see. At the end of the day, if you boil this down totally to its essence, this is just a way for GRC people to explain impact. Likelihood and impact is the two elements that make up risk, and it's the core function that GRC people roll with. And this right here is helping us communicate and understand impact for the organization.
Hackers allegedly publish secret Taliban records. The Taliban government of Afghanistan is none too happy these days at the fact that hackers successfully, quote, carried out a massive cyber attack against its computer systems and published over 50 gigabytes of stolen documents and files online, end quote. The group, named Tabi Leaks, that's Tabileaks, has posted links to its collection on social media. These links point to 21 Taliban ministries and government agencies and include information about prisoners, travel restrictions, and many other types of activities and restrictions. For its part, the Taliban's Ministry of Communications says that most of the files had already been publicly accessible for years and that, quote, no system has been hacked, end quote.
All right. Ooh, okay. We got some juice here. Secret Taliban records published. Hackers breach. Now, Graham Cluley, shout out to him. Every time I see Graham Cluley, I'm not like, he's not Brian Krebs level to me, but like I do always recognize and be like, oh yeah, this has got to be legit. Like Graham Cluley's got cool reporting. Now the Taliban is the government of Afghanistan. Remember when, well, I guess that might get political, but they're basically the ruling class right now of Afghanistan. And even if you are Taliban, and I feel like a lot of times Taliban gets kind of portrayed as living, I guess, not in caves, but like very rustic and, villages more than kind of organized government. But guys, if you're a level of government in any capacity, you typically have IT infrastructure, right? You have systems like they're not just using word of mouth to like communicate and share and coordinate efforts. They are using technology, right? So because of that, their tech can be hacked just like any other government or, corporate system. 50 gigs of stolen data. I mean, 50 gigs is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. It's not good. It's still a data breach. What I will tell you is these leak records included claims, by the way, not confirmed yet, that they've imprisoned, 17,000 people, 16,000 men, 1,400 women, 84 nationals, etc., which could kind of fall into not war crimes, but, like civil, not civil, what is it called? Like, not civil rights. There's a word for it that my brain's not clicking on right now. Anyways, I don't know if this will cause any type of international response to this. I'm not sure, but obviously not good. And what I want to point out here is something pretty quick. And this is like a lesson learned. Again, for all of these stories, we can all read the story, but what I do want to do is provide additional value to you, because that's the whole point of Simply Cyber, and my mission is to provide value to you guys. Before I do that, let's tell Itching to Learn, congratulations, just landed my first IT job, tech support for a cybersecurity company. It's a pay cut, but got my foot in the door. Thank you, Team SC. Team SC, if you would, drop a wrecking ball emote if you're a squad member, and let's tell Itching to Learn. I came in like a wrecking ball. Straight crushing. Nice job, Itching to Learn. Super pumped for you. Congratulations. Okay, so let me tell you something really quickly, okay? When we are doing GRC work and you are doing threat landscape and threat modeling, right? Normally, you might just think like, oh, cyber criminal, nation state threat actor, whatever, right? The idea of like the lone curious hacker from the 90s is still around, but not something you really got to worry about. The idea that you would put a server rack underneath an air conditioner and have it drip on your server rack, yeah, you got to be concerned about that, but not a super big deal. I'll give you another silly example. I actually found this one during an audit one time. You own the fire extinguisher to help put out electrical fires, but you mount it in the server room behind the server rack. So if the server catches fire, you wouldn't be able to get to the actual fire extinguisher. So that's an example of checkbox compliance where you say, yes, we have the fire extinguisher, but in practice, you're never going to get to it and your data center is going to burn down, right? These are things we have to worry about. But another threat vector that most people forget about is the ideologically motivated hacker or hacker collective. Anonymous is really famous for being that kind of threat. But this is another example, right? There's some group of ideologically motivated, cyber savvy practitioners who believe what the Taliban is doing is, an injustice. Okay. And they are taking action in their own hands by attacking the Taliban and getting evidence to support the injustice and hopefully result in some type of movement or response from the international community, effectively aligning to the ideological motivations of disrupting and unseating this particular group. It is something you got to be mindful of. You have to draw your own moral compass. But if you work for a oil drilling company or a fracking company, there's a lot of polarizing topics or polarizing individuals who don't like that, right? Or you work for a collection of abortion clinics, right? There's people who don't like that, right? So you do have to be mindful when you're doing your threat modeling and thinking about, what do we got to protect from, that the ideological motivated attacker is an individual that you must be mindful of. All right, let's keep going. We got one more story left, but hey, before we do that one story, I have a special, break in the news. All right, really quickly. This doesn't happen ever, but it's happening right now. Okay. I just want to say really quickly. So Brittany White is the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, B-dubs, for what she did. Now, it's come to my attention that we recognized Brittany recently for her contributions and for these same things. So she's absolutely the Community Member of the Week. She's absolutely getting that $100 Amazon gift card. But I also want to, I love recognizing multiple people in the community for their efforts. And we've got a special, unprecedented second member for the week, right? Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, second member. Many of you recognize her. She does like her privacy. I have met her in real life. So, I mean, she's a real person. But I do want to really quickly say shout out and love. We're gonna represent her this way right here. Shout out to Alpha Sierra, our Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. She will also be receiving a $100 Amazon gift card. Alpha Sierra is regularly in chat. She's super supportive of the community and helping people all the time. But the reason I bring up Breakfast Club here is because she consistently shows up and helps us lead the mid-roll Simple Minds song. And when she's not available because she has a conflicting appointment or conflicting travel or whatever, she actually goes and makes it a point to ensure that somebody is responsible for that. So Drum Major Alpha Sierra, I just want to say on behalf of the whole community, thank you for what you do. And congratulations on being the second Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Both B-dubs and Alpha Sierra, contact me on DMs to get your gift card, okay? All right. I just want to do that really quickly because it does take a village, y'all.
End quote. Zyxel will not patch newly exploited flaws in end-of-life routers. According to security company VulnCheck, the Taiwan-based Zyxel has, quote, issued a security advisory about actively exploited flaws in its customer premises equipment, that's CPE, series devices, such as modems and routers, warning that it has no plans to issue fixing patches and urges users to move to actively supported models. According to network scanning engines, FOFA and Census, over 1,500 Zyxel CPE series devices are exposed to the internet, so the attack surface is significant.
Okay.
So,
come on. Listen, I will dunk all day, every day on Zyxel. I've actually given a conference talk on 0 days I found in a Zyxel NAS device back when I was doing my PhD. I will be the first one to get in line and put on a military issued boot and kick Zyxel in the butt. But this right here, you can't fault Zyxel. It's an end of life device, bro. Like, you don't get to keep coming back to the trough because you bought a router in 1997 and you expect it to be patched, right? Like, I don't care if it's Zyxel, Cisco, Aruba, Microsoft, Exchange. Dude, if you're running software, you are made well aware in advance when it's going to end of life, which gives you plenty of time to plan for replacement and system lifecycle. I'm like borderline need to get a shirt made. I love myself some system lifecycle, and everybody gets all geeked up about the left side of the lifecycle, and most people don't care about the right side of it. Listen, a Zyxel router, probably not that expensive. Let's just really flex and say $1,000, which chances are it's much less than that. That's not big money to replace. If you spend $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 on a piece of medical equipment, yes, I understand that it needs to generate $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in profit before you're even going to sniff replacing it, because you're not in the business of losing money on technology purchases. And there are ways to protect and extend the life. You could put it, like, for example, you could put a little Raspberry Pi firewall in between the vulnerable device and the rest of your network and do very specific controlled access control lists on that, just to get a little bit of extra juice out of that squeeze. This right here, come on, man. Like, just because packets are flowing doesn't mean we'll kick it till next quarter. No, like, you need to plan for it. I'm begging you, as a practitioner, CISOs, if you're in chat, aspiring CISOs, you need to work with the IT people, the CIO, but really the IT leader, not leader, but like this is going to sound like such a dunk, but not the CIO, but the actual person who's like technically in charge of IT, like hands on keyboard. They're going to know what all the tech stack is and where end of life is coming and stuff like that. You might have to give them some of your budget. Okay. If you let it slide too far, you're going to end up in a situation where you have a bunch of stuff that needs to be replaced and you really don't have the budget to do it. Yes, it sucks to allocate budget to replace something that is still working. And this is where InfoSec people kind of lose a little bit of political capital because, frankly, it's hard to make the case like, dude, we need to replace it because there is a possibility it will get exploited because it's not going to be patched. And they're like, yeah, Jerry, love you, mean it. But at the same time, it works fine. Packets flow. You're asking, it's like, guys, it's like asking someone to replace their car when their car works perfectly fine. It's a Toyota Corolla from 1987. It's got 480,000 miles on it. Yeah, it makes a knocking sound. And it doesn't look hot. I'm not going to get up to the club and get to go behind the velvet rope if I pull up in this thing. But you know what? I can get to the grocery store and buy $12 eggs, and I can get to work. I can do the things I need to do. It's reliable, at least. I don't need to spend $35,000 to replace this car. And you're like, yeah, but there's been like numerous reports that like the timing belt can just explode or like whatever, the engine can fall out. Like some type of vulnerability has been disclosed and the manufacturer is not going to be repairing it. And there's no way for you to fix it. So maybe you should do that. And you're like, nah, I'm good. Nah. Right. So that's the case. This is one of those ones it's got to be it's a tough row to hoe. Okay. So let's keep, oh wait, I think that's it. All right. Oh, so good. Oh my God, so good. Guys, I do want to say shout out and holler to all y'all. Shout out to all y'all, guys. I want to say thank you all for being here today. Congratulations to B-Dubs and Alpha Sierra for doing it. Pour a little bit out for Toasty Pops and the Kansas City crew for their unfortunate or fortunate, depending on your perspective, loss last night. I am getting it right now. Hold on. Yep, I just got a memo hot off the printer or hot off the fax machine here. It says that Toasty Pops and Marcus Kyler will be having a support meeting at 2 p.m. today to deal with that. Also, like, let's be real, you guys made the playoffs, so like the Patriots support meeting, we met like a month ago. So I'm not dunking on you guys. Our team sucks too. All right, guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. This has been super dope. I really, really appreciate all of you for being here today. Shout out to Kathy Chambers and Zach Hill for showing up from the Antisyphon crew. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, guys. Don't go anywhere because we are going to be dropping knowledge bombs at the AMA Jawjacking segment. Jawjacking's a 30-minute Ask Me Anything. I will be, Jerry Guy will be hosting. I'm Dr. Gerald Auger. Jerry Guy will be hosting. Get your GRC love. Get your questions. We're going to do everything we can to help everybody as much as we can in the next 30 minutes. So don't go anywhere. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, episode 810. I'm pumped. I hope you are too. Go crush your week. I'll see you in just a moment. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. All right, what's up, everybody? How we do, guys? It's Jawjacking. We've got some 30 minutes hanging out with you. This is Jerry Guy. Also didn't make it to Wild West Hackenfest Mile High, but neither did that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger. Oh my God. System development lifecycle. System lifecycle. What an absolute zero, that guy. Guys, in all seriousness, so we got a great 30-minute AMA for you. I do want to say Jawjacking is a sponsored segment for just a few days this month. Giving you a shout out to Palo Alto. Guys, hey, Team SC, tired of playing catch up with threats? Get ahead of the game by attending Symphony 2025, a virtual summit by Palo Alto Networks, the sponsor of Jawjacking today. You can join industry giants like founder and CTO of Palo Alto himself, Nurzuk, and the Unit 42 team, which are dope, to see how Cortex Precision AI is revolutionizing SecOps and the real-time cloud security. You'll also get exclusive access to Unit 42's 2025 Incident Response Report, hands-on demos of AI-native SOC transformation, and technical deep dives you won't find anywhere else. From cloud blind spots to alert fatigue, they're tackling the problems that keep you up at night. And my favorite part, honestly, it's the best part. This event is completely free. This event right here, completely free. Don't miss this chance to level up your security game. Reserve your free spot now. There's a link in chat, and I will also put the link in description. So let me go ahead. I'm going to drop that right now. I actually made a hot link for you guys. simplycyber.io/Palo Alto. And I do love myself, Unit 42. All right, there we go. There's the link. All right, so let's get into Jawjacking AMA. Let's go. DJ Bisek is behind the glass, so we might get some... Here we go. Angular, I've been trying to do a Saturday computer networking meetup with teams with my coworkers, but I get depressed when no one shows up. So is this key consistency? I mean, what did you do? All right, so let me tell you something right here. First of all, Angular, I love the idea of it, okay? Really love it. Now, let me tell you this. If no one is showing up, I would offer change the day, right? It might be an inconvenient time for people to do it. May I suggest, Angular, a lunch and learn series? When I was at Booz Allen, we used to do this. We called it Brown Bag Series. But once a month, once a week or whatever, have a 30-minute, meet and greet or, chat roulette or whatever you want to do and communicate out, hey, for 30 minutes, this link's going to be open and we're going to be doing this, this, and this. Like, explain a value proposition. Make it interesting on why they should be there and try different times. I'm telling you, Saturday morning or whatever might be difficult, right? I have kids. Saturday morning's a very busy time for me and my family. So experiment with different times. The other thing I'll tell you is I put a lot of work in to public speaking. I know, like, I basically yell at 400 or 500 people every single day. But check it out. I used to have massive anxiety with public speaking, and I leaned into it. I actually gave a talk one time in person, in real life. I gave a talk. I promoted it out, and one person showed up, okay? One person showed up. And I want to point out that one person's actually become a good friend of mine. But at the time, I knew him, but I wasn't really friends with him at the time. The room was set up to sit probably 50 people. No lie. He sat in the back row, okay? And I gave that presentation as if there was a full audience there. I didn't make it weird because I was trying to practice. And I'm just telling you, show up, do it. Even if no one shows up, be there, take advantage of it. If you build it, they will come. Great question, Angular. Roswell UK says, what would it take to get Jerry Guy to sing happy birthday to me? Well, I can say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Roswell UK. Chip, chip, cheerio, pip, pip, and all that. Happy birthday to you. Woo! All right, there we go, buddy. Do you have any events in the Boston, New England area? So, SMED, I do not. I do want to let everybody know, Chris Whitlock, who is Director of Community Engagement, he's in chat right now. He and I and a couple others are working on revitalizing the ambassador program. So for those who don't know, Simply Cyber community is growing, and there's a lot of people who are in various parts of at least the United States that are interested in local meetups, and we are trying to enable that. Toasty Pops is the ambassador of Kansas City. Marcus Kyler is the ambassador of Detroit. And by the way, ambassadors, I will be sending flags out very similar to the Team SC flag you see in all the pictures. Toasty Pops already has one, but as we spin it up, SMED, George Strasburger is in that area. There are a couple other in that area. I would recommend going on to Discord and saying, hey, what's up? Anybody in the Boston, New England area? I do not know of any events Simply Cyber related at this time, but that would be more of an ambassador thing. I'm not in the Boston, New England area. All right, let's keep going. AB wants to know what's going on, Chris Whitlock. Chris Whitlock, I'll leave you to answer that one. Sierra Montgomery is hyped for the PA event. I agree, guys. Listen, like they're sponsoring Jawjacking, but I'll just tell you, like now that the read is over, my personal experience, I think Unit 42 is super legit. Okay, so when Unit 42 releases something, I pay attention to it. Palo Alto it's an Israeli, originally, I don't know if it's still Israeli, but it's an Israeli-founded company. Israeli-based cybersecurity companies are almost always awesome. Palo Alto is a brand household name, and this is a free event, so come on. Like, what's not to like? Nerman with a super chat. He says, thanks, Jerry, for your hard work and dedication to the SC community. Your passion, leadership, and willingness to share inspires so many of us. Grateful to be part of this community you've built. Nerman, thank you so very much, guys. And Nerman came to Simply CyberCon. He was also at DEF CON. I met him in person for the first time at the Simply Cyber Meetup in Vegas. Nerman's good people. If you get a chance, definitely somebody you want to meet. I really like Nerman and his attitude. He's another success story of someone who broke into somebody who broke into cybersecurity. Cool. All right. Triple D saying it. Jerry guy, nerd. All right. Let's keep looking at the comments, see if there's any. If you have a question, drop a Q in chat. Do you recommend any upcoming IT cybersecurity events or conventions in the United States? Brian Fitz asks. So Brian Fitz, what I would suggest is yes, okay? You might hear RSA. I feel like RSA is not a good one for practitioners to go to. It's more to like, if you are trying to figure out like what's the industry trends, what products are out there, that's a good one. For community, honestly, Brian Fitz, my money goes to Wild West Hackin' Fest and Simply CyberCon. So Wild West Hackin' Fest just had one in Denver, so you can't go to that one. It's over. But that's super good. There's going to be one in Deadwood, which is tickets will sell out fast, but that is an unbelievable conference. It almost feels like a retreat than a conference. That is a very good one. Also Black Hat DEF CON is epic and huge. And Brian Fitz, definitely check out your local B-sides. I don't know where you live, Brian, but there are some really great ones. Charleston, South Carolina has one. Grand Rapids, Michigan has one. Vegas has got one. London's got one, etc. So Roswell, UK, you're welcome, buddy. Steve Young, do you have any advice, resources on putting together a tabletop exercise for a ransomware attack for the public sector? Yes. I don't have resources immediately available. So at Fleetus and at Brandon Poole, I'm almost positive Brandon Poole at Simply CyberCon 2024, which is a recorded session, actually gave kind of a walkthrough on how to set something like this up. Black Hills Information Security has the Backdoors and Breaches card game. It really depends, Steve Young, on how large a tabletop you're going to be doing and who the stakeholders are. Like, is it IT? Is it the business? Is this a public thing with lots of people? Is this a private thing, like for one specific business and stuff like that? If anyone in chat has like a quick download or a link to download or something like that, let me know. I got to tell you though, Steve Young, this is inspiring to me. Like, I think it would be cool to have like a bundled little download thing made available to people. So I'll write this down and try to crowdsource it with the community. So let me know, community. I'll go back and look, but it would be cool to have that. Dennis Sculty says, I know CVSS scores are so last year, but what's the difference between V3 and V4 CVSS score? Okay, so this is a great question. CVSS scores version 2 and 3 and 3.1. There was never really much change in it, right? And it's really around like the security objectives of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then like how easy is it to exploit and how close to the system does the threat actor have to be, like remote, local, on the box, etc. And V4 is a massive departure from V3.1. I could do a whole video, honestly, on the difference between it. Now, I do want to preface it before going any deeper that I believe V4 actually is a better way to analyze and convey how bad a vulnerability is to an organization, because it really does take into account like the temporal element, as well as, here, I can pull up a graphic, as well as some other details that is just more granulated. Now, having said all of that, even though V4 exists, to me, and this is a great metaphor in my opinion, V4, V3.1 and V4 is very much similar to IPv4 and IPv6. IPv6 offers more security, larger address space, and lots of other benefits. But IPv6 is wicked complicated, and most people don't migrate from IPv4 because IPv4 is easy to understand and it works, right? We'll put controls in other places. To me, V3.1 and V4 is the same thing. V4 came out like last year, I want to say. And to this day, I have yet to see anybody publish anything with a V4 score. So let me just show you really quickly. So anyways, my point is understanding V4 is fine, but no one's using it as far as I can tell. Look, here's a graphic showing a side-by-side. Right? You can see some of the new things. Attack requirements, subsequent system confidentiality. So like once they get into the initial system and they can pivot forward, how bad is that? Like basically CVSS V3 did not give into account scope. Right? So you can just see this is what the deal is. Yep. So, yeah. So anyways, hopefully that answers your question. Let's keep going. How are we doing on time? 9:12. This is perfect. Hold on one second. All right, cool. Cool. Hey, Christopher K. Hall shared a great site for finding events in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. Thank you. All right. Norman's in here. I love it. Keep the questions coming. Here we go. Are there any vulnerability tools other than MITRE ATT&CK, NVD, OWASP, NVD, again, CVEs that I can tap into for my research? Yeah, I mean, DP. What's up, DP, by the way? DPKP. You know, I would say it depends what you're trying to do, but, you know, Taxi, TAXII, and STIX, STIX, is vulnerability information threat intelligence. We also have, you know, the NIST known exploited vulnerability catalog that you can give a consideration to. There is EPSS, which we've talked a bit about on the regular lately. So, you know, include those. It depends on your research. All right, let's. Marcus Kyler's a big Nerman fan. I agree. Kathy Chambers, sorry it's been too long since I've been part of the party. Did the Simply CyberCon dates get set up? Okay, so if you're in chat and you're curious about Simply CyberCon, all right, let's do this. Let me give an update. Hold on one second. Let me do a really quick poll. Hyped? Hold on. Gosh dang. Hype for SCCon? Okay, so here's the update on Simply CyberCon. Right now, the dates are not set because we are actively trying to get a facility, okay? Apparently, Charleston, South Carolina is hot
That Hansel's so hot right now.
For getting married, bachelorette parties, and things like that. So right now, Kathy Chambers, in very light pencil, we are trying to get November 2nd, November 3rd, November 4th. Now, it's going to be a 2-day event. So I don't know if it's 3rd or 4th or 2nd and 3rd. Here's what's going on. And this is just a quick update for everybody. We will absolutely give you clarity once things are done. So for those who don't know, I'm faculty at the Citadel Military College. Thank you, Chris Whitlock. Just a reminder, everybody, we have a raid coming up right after the show with Simply Defensive. Wade Wells wading through logs in chat right now, and Josh Mason, who many of you saw at Wild West Hack and Fest Mile High. Here's the deal. Renting a facility, and like we're very inspired by Wild West Hack and Fest. So we want to provide food and experiences and those type of things in addition to education and training and all these other things, right? At the end of the day, it's expensive, okay? Like there's a hotel that we're targeting which can provide restaurant and food and bar and activities and rooms, like for sleeping and for hosting and all and training and speaking, okay? And it's expensive. I am faculty at the Citadel Military College, and I put together a proposal and sent it to my department head Thursday of last week. I'm going to follow up with them today. And I have requested the use of this building called Capers Hall, which is a brand new facility. It's where I teach. It's a brand new facility built last year, and it is all teched out. Like, it is decked out with awesome tech. And I've asked for 4 classrooms on Sunday, November 2nd, for us to be able to provide trainings for individuals, right? So if we can get that, it cuts the conference in half and literally saves us tens of thousands of dollars, okay? The reality is Simply CyberCon is a nonprofit, and we are going to try to get sponsors to help offset the cost. But if the cost of the venue and the food and the activities is $75,000, which is kind of what we're looking at right now, the money's got to come from somewhere, and it comes from sponsors and price of registration. And we are trying to make the event as affordable as possible for people. So because of that, we're trying to be very mindful of budget and spend. So I'm trying to get one half of the conference for free, for $0, okay? So stay tuned, Kathy Chambers. But November 2nd, 3rd, 4th is what we're targeting. The following weekend is my birthday. So as a nod to my family, I'm trying to not hold the conference on my birthday. Plus, I feel like that's super like cringy to be like, oh, it's my birthday. Like, I love a conference. Let's do that. All right, so let's keep going. Good question. Hopefully you guys got that. Looks like 90% of you are hyped for Simply CyberCon. Me too. I'm super pumped for it. All right. Let's go. Hopefully you guys got the newsletter this morning. Honorable Ogum says, I recently went to the DC apprenticeship program, and they have a 2-year program for cyber. Should I do that to gain knowledge or keep applying for blue team jobs with the certs I already have? So Honorable Ogum, without knowing your job experience and stuff, what I would say is if you need to work now, then keep applying to jobs. I don't know. Here's what I would say. This is what I would tell my son if he came to me with this question. Look at this 2-year program and find 2 people that have completed the 2-year program and find out what their experiences was and if it helped them get a job. If your goal is to get a job, 2 years is a long time to wait to get the job where you may be able to get it today. SOC analyst jobs are, I don't want to say they're widely available, but a lot of MSSPs love themselves some entry-level SOC analysts because they're basically going to chew you up and spit you out, which is part of the deal of like getting the experience, getting the cuts and the scars and everything. So Honorable Ogum, what I would say is find somebody, ask them, find out, and then make the decision from there. All right. All right, Roswell, not a question. He says, the interview I went to last week seemed to be looking for cloud expertise and OT expertise. Unicorn or not a unicorn? I don't know. Not exactly a unicorn, but also not super common. I don't know what they want. All right, so Alpha Sierra is chiming in on Honorable Ogum. Thank you, Simply Cyber community members. Hashtag Team S. Oh, God, I just got a stomach pain. Oh. Sorry. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Team SC community members, for helping individuals. Tony Jack says, 4th round interview today for a BSO role. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's go. Tony Jack, I hope you get it, buddy. And if you do, let us know, because I'd love to play the wrecking ball sound effect. All right, what else we got in chat here? Oh, Kimberly, wishing you the best, Tony. Boom, that's classic on-brand Kimberly. Legrat, any opinions on JFrog X-Ray for scanning for vulns and building S-bombs? I have not heard of JFrog X-Ray. So let's take a look. JFrog X-Ray. All right, so this is a product. I don't know anything about them, so I don't want to bring it up on stage because I don't know who they are, and I tend not to endorse things that I'm not familiar with. But if anyone in chat knows anything about JFrog X-Ray, drop it in chat. Let us know. FedEx says we're setting up a SC event for Central Florida in Zero Trust World attendees. Yes. So for those who did not know, I am going to be at Zero Trust World. FedEx will be there. Kimberly Can Fix It will be there. Josh Mason will be there. James McQuiggan may or may not be there. I'm not sure. But I am actually got it on my schedule today. If you were to see my private calendar, I'm actually going to, I did it partially this weekend, but I'm actually going to be breaking out hour by hour what I'm doing at Zero Trust World. I would love a Simply Cyber meetup either on Wednesday night or Thursday night. Probably Thursday night if I had to guess my preference, just because of things. But stay tuned. Believe me, I will let everybody know what the deal is for a Team SC meetup at Zero Trust World. And frankly, I just don't know. I know it's at a facility. Marcus is going to be there. Oh, yeah. So just stay tuned. I'll let everybody know, I promise. I might have to depend on James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet as the Orlando local. I'm sorry. He may or may not live in Orlando. Oh.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Charles Finfrock put my personal email address on stream one time, so we all make mistakes. I have a Revo says, I have a Sec Plus and study to be SOC analyst. What GRC cert course could help me the most? You can't ask me, Revo, because I'll tell you my course. So here's the deal, Revo. This right here, this is my GRC Analyst Masterclass. This is what I would tell you to go to. Now, remember, Revo, I have a financial incentive to tell you that. So in full disclosure, you shouldn't take my word for it. But I will say there's many, many people in chat who have taken this course and can attest to it. I also want to point out right here, this is testimonials of students who have taken my class. And I assure you, these are all real people who have really taken my class and really feel this way about it. James McQuiggan, Mara Levy, people who are Devin Grady, people who are in chat right now that you can confirm are not fake accounts. David Padula, Space Tacos, Chris Whitlock himself. Okay. So I would recommend that personally, Revo. All right. We're at 9:24. I definitely need to get some water. Haircut Fish wants to have SCCon at my house. I don't think my property could handle the awesomeness that is Simply CyberCon. All right. Oh yeah, Marcus and Dennis Keefe were the winner chicken dinners. Yes, that's right. Any other questions? Zenith hopes to be at Deadwood. By the way, hey, Kathy Chambers, can you comment on this? I saw Tyler Ramsby post that he was going to be at Deadwood Wild West Hackin' Fest. Has registration opened for Wild West Hackin' Fest Deadwood? Because I was unaware. Let me know. All right. Luke Canfield says he's going to be at DEF CON, Wild West Hackin' Fest, B-Sides Augusta, and SCCon this year. Heck yeah. I will give a special shout out to B-Sides Augusta. I have been to B-Sides Augusta, and it was a phenomenal B-Sides. They can run a great B-Sides. Also, if you're in the San Diego area, Wade Wells is a leader over at B-Sides San Diego. And my understanding from Wade, I've never attended that one, but B-Side San Diego is super legit too. All right. Thank you for the happy birthday in advance. Jeff Tomei said meetup link. Yeah, I think individuals who are not mods cannot drop URLs and links. So I forget who said it, but whoever has the link for the meetups in Minnesota, Illinois, and Wisconsin, if you can go to the Discord server and drop that, please do so. Josh Mason, be well. Remember, guys, in 3 minutes, we've got the premiere of season 2, episode 5 of Simply Defensive, from red to blue, David Perez's journey. If you're red and want to go blue, or if you can vibe with this, you're gonna get value. 2 minutes until we go. Larry Shervington, questions are coming in hot and heavy. I love it. Any resume tips or new trends you could suggest for transitioning out of Fed work? I'm on what feels like a slow walk to the gallows and trying to prepare best possible. Last resume in 2019. Yeah, Larry Shervington. Honestly, what I would recommend is make sure that whether you're going Fed to Fed or Fed to private sector or private sector to private sector, I would definitely recommend ensuring that your resume includes impact statements. Impact statements on, like, so what? Like, oh, you managed a $30 million project. So what? Like, what does that mean? Like, did you do it on time? Did you save money? Having the quantified amount of 30 million is really cool. It does show that people trusted you with that amount of money, but like, have some impact statements to did because of your efforts of managing that project, you were able to deliver some capability to the business. Like, you know what I mean? Figure out what you've done. Use AI tools. Frankly, it's fast to copy and paste bullets and say, hey, I'm applying for this position. Convert this to be more impactful statements. AI can help you with that a lot too. I also have a video for that on my YouTube channel. If you search for resume ChatGPT, you'll get it. In fact, I'll just resume Simply Cyber ChatGPT. Let me do this really quickly. ChatGPT resume hacks.
Have you ever felt
All right, let me drop a link to this for Larry.
For a cybersecurity career transition? You're not alone. Many talented individuals send out their resumes to HR departments.
There you go, Larry. Go crush it, buddy.
But don't worry, because in this video,
Larry, don't think of it as like a slow walk to the gallows. Think of it as an opportunity to spread your wings and fly. Fly, baby. All right, Stones fans' birthday is November 2nd. Well, if you can come out here, Robert, I'll buy you a pint. Oh my gosh. All right, Kathy Chamber. All right. Last question, because the premiere is going to start. Let's talk about it. For someone wanting to start public speaking, at least on YouTube, what resource would you recommend to watch or read? Okay, so listen, let's talk about it. Inside the Simply Cyber community, I believe it, Chris Whitlock, can you fact check me on this? I think it's Tuesday nights, once a month. Let me see really quickly. Chris Hidalgo does it. Damn it, where is it? I don't know where it is. There is a public speaking channel on the Simply Cyber Discord server, and it's basically like Toastmasters, but we can't call it a Toastmasters for legal reasons. That is what I recommend. Let's talk about it. They will help you. You can practice. You'll get constructive feedback. Simply Cyber Discord, Chris Hidalgo, I'm almost positive is the one who reads that. Chris Whitlock, confirm that, please. But go check that out, okay? We are premiering. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all so very much for all you do. Kathy Chambers, the whole mod team, Zach Hill, Chris Whitlock, Kimberly Can Fix It, Triple D, Justin Gold, Casually Joseph, Wade Wells. Too many to mention, guys. We're about to go live here. Let's go raid Simply Defensive. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time, stay secure.
Innovators and leaders to inform, educate, and entertain. Join us as we unlock the secrets of defensive cybersecurity. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Simply Defensive. I'm Josh Mason, and with me, as always, Wade.
What's
Rose.
up?
And today we've got with us David Perez. David, introduce yourself to the happy folks.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm David Perez. So I actually got started doing cybersecurity in the Navy. Was on a red team doing that, and then getting out and coming to work for.
Very nice. I think I know some of the folks who were on the.